Okay, guys. Good afternoon. Happy Monday. Hope everybody had a fantastic weekend and is off to a great start for the new week ahead. I want to thank you all for joining us on this series and really diving in and getting familiar with and consistent with using Hurdlr. As we know, it's a very powerful app that is free for all of us UFMS subscribers and is certainly something that we should be leveraging and taking advantage of for a number of reasons. So, in the past three sessions, we've had the director of customer success, Ashley Rockwell, with us, and she has walked us through how to use the app, everything from the very bare bone basic things that we should all be doing every day to things that are more customized or more advanced features of what Hurdlr can do for us. And all of those sessions are available for review on youtube.com/shopping annuity. So there's a playlist for this Hurdlr series that is available for you guys to rewatch, and maybe you want to go back in and review one of the features that Ashley walked you through, or better yet, you want to leverage that series, that recorded series, with your own group. So what the focus is for today is kind of twofold. The first focus is to give you guys some really great steps for what to do going forward so that you can yourself be as consistent and really just reap the benefits of Hurdlr for yourself and your own personal gain. But secondly, also to give you some ideas for how you can actually do what we've done with you guys with your own team so that you can take it a step further. And one of the big benefits of Hurdlr was sort of like a subliminal one in terms of organizational retention as well as recruiting opportunities, which means you getting the folks on your organization using this can is actually a really big role in being able to reap that benefit. So really what we want to do is that, and then we will also open it up for any questions that have come up over the past couple of weeks as you've used Hurdlr. We do have Ashley on the line with us again today, so if there are any questions, whether they're technical or they're more around the business as it relates to Hurdlr, we will take questions. So make sure that you type them in the question box, and anything at all that you would like to ask Ashley or myself directly, we will, of course, answer those as well. So, what now? The most important thing that you can do is continue to use Hurdlr habitually. Making Hurdlr a habit is really going to be the difference between whether or not you reap the benefits of the program. It's just the Hurdlr is just like the business. It's just like going to the gym. It's just like eating healthfully. It's only going to be as good as what you put into it. So there's a lot of features around Hurdlr that can be used to minimize the labor part of things on your end, things that can make things more automated for yourself, such as rules and things like that. Ashley has already demonstrated, I believe, in week 2, but it still does require your participation and that in your attention. So what you really want to do is just make sure that that your focus is to identify and stay consistent with a system that works for you to be able to stay consistent, whether it's, like I said, doing it on Fridays, doing it with morning coffee, doing it as you get the notifications, things like that. You also want to explore more capabilities of the program as you use it. So I know that I found it really, really cool, intriguing, and interesting, a lot of the features that Ashley walked us through in the past couple of weeks. And I have not personally dove into them yet because I'm still using and mastering and working on my own consistency. So as I master one thing, I want to look at something else and really just kind of explore. It's really something that you can grow into. And so you want to continue to do that so that you can get the most out of it. But most importantly, above all, is you really want to set a pace for your team, and you want to train your team to use it as well. So we're going to talk about resources, the playlist, a blog article that we're putting out, things like that you can leverage so that you can get your team using Hurdlr and reaping the benefits of that as well, which, by the way, becomes a really good opportunity to talk about other things for the business, about UFMS, about being on auto ship, about other things that are really great conversations to be having with your team. So let's talk about what to do when you're running an accountability group, or what some of your focuses should be for when you're running a group like this. Number one is you want to ask yourself how are you using, and how consistent are you with using Hurdlr? So, do a self-evaluation after these couple of weeks and ask yourselves, did you set up your business profile? Meaning, did you even get past that first step where you're answering the basic questions that Ashley demonstrated in week 1? Did you link your bank accounts or credit cards? Did you download the mobile app and allow notifications? Have you reviewed any expenses and income? Did you add or track mileage? What about manual inputs? Did you have any paper receipts that you maybe manually needed to add as an expense, right? Have you explored the help center, tried any of the advanced features, maybe added some customizations, whether it was adding categories or multiple businesses or one of the other great features that Ashley demonstrated for us? Did you log into Hurdlr during planned times, or were those planned times maybe not so convenient? Did you use the tracker automatically, or did you do the manual entry? Did you learn anything new? All right, though, these are it really does start with you. Like, if you really want to be a great leader with an accountability group, the first thing you can do is take an assessment of your own personal engagement with Hurdlr. Now, do you have to be perfect with the app in order to run a group? Absolutely not. You don't. I mean, for me, I learned so much on this group because I use the group as an opportunity to learn. So if you answered no to more of these questions than yes, that doesn't mean that you can't do a group. It just gives you some personal points of reference for where you want to improve for yourself. The good news is that all of these sessions were recorded, and so there's nothing for you to be an expert in order to take it to the next level. In fact, if you took this to the next level with a group and you brought some people on board with you to do the accountability, it almost will help you personally to improve too, because you're going to have, that positive peer pressure of doing it with somebody else. Oops. All right, there we go. So great. So now that you've taken that personal assessment, your next goal is to get your group to experience the benefits. So the way to do this, number one, is you have to help them understand the why, right? So they have to understand what's in it for them and what's most important to them. And this is something that we as unfranchised owners need to be able to speak to. So there are things that you can explain. The obvious benefits, which of course are the tax benefits. Now, this information, including slides about Hurdlr, are all available. Actually, if you look up in unfranchised support materials, Chris Petticord and my presentation from the main stage at International Convention, there are great Hurdlr slides in there. The Hurdlr breakout was also uploaded. In there are great slides for you to reference in terms of tax benefits, the shopping annuity benefits, the recruiting and retention benefits, and what to do and how to get started. So there's some really great information in there that you can pull from. But at the bare bones, helping people understand that they can keep more of what they make by simply keeping clean records and not commingling their finances, or at least having a way to unmingle them. That helps people to get inspired to say, okay, I'm going to get started with this and I'm going to give it a try. The shopping annuity benefit part of this is, again, all of our spending is being tracked, and it's not personal information, it's not linked to you personally, is being saved so that we have some great muscle to flex with some of our vendors to get better IBV, better BV, better deals, better savings, better shipping, better everything. And there's actually an active project being worked on where you're going to be able to see all of your spending categorized by shopping annuity categories, so that you can have an idea of what you actually spend for the shopping annuity. Now, think about how powerful that is. I mean, The shopping annuity assessment is a great tool, and it allows us an opportunity to estimate what we think that we spend in various categories that could be redirected to convert into an income, right? Well, with something like this, where you're linked to actual spending and it's not based off of an estimate, but rather what's actually being done, that is a very powerful report right in front of your face to say, wow, this is what I'm actually spending that should be being redirected through my business versus this is what I think I spend. Because let's be honest, we all believe that we spend less than what we actually do. Um, Now, once you've explained the benefits of Hurdlr to your people, the next thing you want to do is get them started. So you want them to activate their account, set up a business profile, link their cards, know the basics of reviewing expenses and income and mileage, right? So those are the main things that people need to get the basic tax benefits and the basic benefits of Hurdlr. So again, that is something that you'll be able to do if you're doing it yourself without even thinking about it. But if you're still not as consistent or comfortable as you'd like, the series has been recorded and you can refer to it and use it with your organization for that purpose. But as with anything, introducing them to this stuff is just the first step. The most important step is helping them to create a habit. So that means checking in with them and understanding like what works for them. And now the most important thing as a leader is to understand that what works for you to make it a habit may be different than what works for the people in your organization. So like for me, it's more it's easier for me to set a specific time to go in and review stuff and just like sit down and just have some focused time to do it, whereas someone else may be more consistent if they just simply act on the notifications, that the push notifications that they get, right? So it's really about helping someone find what's comfortable for them, and that's just kind of a coaching tip. So basically, it's really simple, you guys. You really want to check your own consistency and increase that consistency. And I want everybody to consider starting an accountability group with your own team where you leverage the 4 weeks of videos that we have put together. And you get people started and active using Hurdlr. So we will have, a blog article going out in the first week of October, which is going to highlight the 4 weeks of recorded videos, as well as a lot of what I've just talked about in the last 10 minutes, the benefits of Hurdlr and what to do and how to get started and things like that. So we're going to have a really great recap email that goes out in about a week, the first week of October, so that you guys can use that with your teams in your own accountability groups. So you want to share it. You want to, at a bare minimum, you want to share that article because everything's going to be consolidated in one place. But if you really want to get the most out of it, you'll also leverage that as sort of like a roadmap and a plan for running a group with your team. So with that being said, I think what I'd like to do, first of all, Ashley, before we open it up to questions, is there anything additional that you would like to add?
Sure. I just want to highlight a couple of resources real quick again. I think I mentioned them before, but if you want to switch the screen over to me, I can highlight those again real quick.
Yes, sure. Hold on 1 second. I'll make you the presenter.
Okay, great.
All right, there it goes.
Perfect. All right. Can you see my screen with Hurdlr up?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So the first thing I just wanted to reiterate was our in-app chat feature. So on the web version of the app, it's this question mark in the top right corner. And then in the mobile app, it's the chat icon in the top left. But if you click on that, you can start a conversation with anyone in our office. We're typically answering questions within 5 minutes during normal business hours. So we're really able to help you quickly get any issues you have resolved. So definitely make use of that feature. We're always happy to help. And there's definitely no stupid questions. So even if it's something that there's probably an easy way to do it, just shoot us a message and we can definitely help you get that figured out. And the other thing I wanted to mention was our help center. So we have great video tutorials and detailed FAQs on there. You can access it through the app itself, or you could just go to university.hurdlr.com. And everything's kind of grouped together. So there's a whole collection of video tutorials we have. There's some FAQs to help you get started, some just general FAQs, reports using the desktop version of the app, Canada, US taxes, personal expense tracking, as well as some other different collections to help you get started and kind of help answer those questions as you're coming across them. They all have screenshots to really help you be able to see exactly how to do some of these things. So those are definitely just two great resources to take advantage of to help you be able to utilize all of those features that we've gone over the past few weeks.
Awesome. Very cool. Thank you so much. Okay, so let's open this
Yeah,
up
of
for
course.
questions, and I think most of these questions will be best answered by you. So you can just leave it as presenter in case you want to show anything. All right,
Okay, sure. Perfect. I'll just leave my screen on then.
cool. So the first question is, previously you talked about how you can link to banks and credit cards to import transactions. What can you export to? Any tax preparing softwares?
Sure. So we do have integration. We have the past 2 years had integration with TaxSlayer. So at the end of the year, once filing season starts, you would see an icon in the app that says tax filing. So with that, it would actually import all your data automatically. I'm not sure of the plans for this tax season, but I imagine we'll probably have something similar. But other than that, you can use Hurdlr with any tax filing system you have by just going to the report section. So if you go to the report section here, and then there's a report called the tax report. And in this report, we'll actually send you all of the data from the app, and it's already pre-formatted for the Schedule C. So you'll actually be able to just kind of plug those numbers into the forms that you're filling out in any tax filing system you're using, if you have one that you're used to using.
Okay, awesome. So Mike, if that answers your question, great. And if not, you can go ahead and send a follow-up question. All right, so this is another question. When I'm entering a split expense, at times the screen flickers and I have to wait for it to stop to finish. This occurs on my laptop.
Got it. Can you please just reach out to us via the in-app chat feature so we can help look into that? That's not something we typically see, so definitely want to go through and troubleshoot that so we can get you fixed up there.
Okay, awesome. Next question. Please explain how to split a receipt between business and personal when entering a manual receipt.
Sure, no problem. So first I'll just go to the expenses section. And then there's an add expense button. On the mobile app, there's just a plus sign in the top right corner. So if you're doing it on the mobile app, you'll do it that way.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go ahead and you can choose the date. It automatically defaults to today's date, but you can pick any date you want. So if I wanted to pick, yesterday, it was an expense from yesterday, and then you can choose the vendor. So if it's not a vendor you already have, then you can add a new one, or you can choose the one that you purchased it from that you already have in your list.
Mm-hmm.
Then you're able to set your business. If you have a client that's associated with, you can set that as well, and add notes. And then here you put in the amount of the receipt. So let's say it was a receipt for $20, and I want to split that between business and personal. So when I do the split button, this comes up. I think it did just flicker there too. Oh, so I'll definitely have our team look into that. But here you're able to choose the different parts. So part that's not business is automatically there. And then for the other part, I would choose my category. So let's say it was supplies for my business. And you can also edit these numbers too. So let's say it was $15 for my business and $5 not business. And I can also add a receipt by tapping the button there. So I will the screen I have there, and then hit save. And then it's going to go, if I go back and search that my tagged transactions, there it is. So it's going to show split and the part that's tagged to my business, and then split the part that's not business, that's personal. And I'll show the different splits there. And then if I click on either of them, it will bring up that whole entire screen with the split. So if I need to make any adjustments to it, I can do it that way. And you can even unsplit it if you realize that you accidentally split it when you didn't mean to.
That's wonderful. Cool. Okay, so that's great. And the same person has a question is saying, why is it asking me to subscribe to premium to keep auto mileage recording? I thought that was free. Do you think that it's possible she did not register through unfranchise Because that is something.
Yeah, so if you just created your account by downloading the app or going to our website, then it's not linked to your Market America account, and it would prompt you to do that since it wouldn't know that you're associated with that. So if that's the case, all you need to do is go to your back office and go to that tax savings section, and that should help you get the account synced up if it's the same email, or get your account set up correctly under the email associated with your Market America account.
Cool. And that's a really great point, you guys, is when you or any of your folks are getting started, it's really important that the first step happens from unfranchise.com through the tax savings app and that business center. Because like Ashley was saying, if you go directly to Hurdlr and you just download the app and you start from there, it's going to do things like try to charge you for premium services that are actually free when you go through your unfranchised account. But the good news is that if you're using the same email, it should sync up. And if you have any issues, you can always just, message them and they'll help to rectify that.
Yep, definitely.
I think we already answered this question, but I just want to make sure. Are there any integration with other accounting software such as QuickBooks?
So we're actually an alternative to QuickBooks, so we don't integrate with them. We do currently have an integration with FreshBooks, which is an invoicing platform. So if you do invoices through FreshBooks, you could link that. And then we also have an integration with Xero. So if you use that, you can actually export your reports from Hurdlr to that automatically. But for most accounting softwares, Hurdlr is kind of the same features, so we don't integrate with any of those.
Okay, awesome. That works. And then what if one receipt needs to be split both business and different categories? Can a split, like, I guess maybe that makes it like, I don't know. Donna, can you just maybe send a follow-up question? Are you saying like the business would have one cat and the personal would have another, or you're saying that a receipt could have multiple categories? So I would just ask.
Yeah, you could definitely do that.
Okay.
Yeah, so let me show you how to do that too. So I'm just going to go in and create another expense again. Make that one $30, and we're going to split it. So here you can actually add additional categories too. So let's say it was actually just 2 business categories and it's not a personal expense at all. I can actually just choose the 2 different business categories it was. Let's say part of it was supplies, and then part of it was some advertising materials. I can split that between those 2 categories as well.
Great.
And then when I save it, it will do the same thing as it was before. Also, you could do the same thing. You could do, multiple business categories and personal categories. So you can really add as many different categories and splits as you need to. You just hit this Add New button.
Mm-hmm. Cool. And then the last question I'm seeing is, speaking of integration, does it integrate with any budgeting software?
So it does not integrate with any budgeting software. I can definitely pass that feedback along to our team, though, as far as including a budgeting feature.
Okay.
I'm not sure if that's something that's already in the roadmap or not, but I'll pass that along.
All right, cool. And then this question is, I went to the back office to start Hurdlr desktop, but it went straight to Google Play to download the app. Did I go correctly to be synced up to get that mileage tracking included? So yeah, as long as you access the app through Unfranchise, you are good to go. It's a great question. And then Julie just has a suggestion that it would be great for us to integrate with Debt Shredder. So Ashley, and I agree, it's a really cool suggestion. It's just another program that we use for like debt reduction and management, so that we sell and use. So it might be something that you and I can kind of round table about, like maybe next week or the week after, just to see what the opportunities would be for that.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining. And like I said, we will be sending out a really great recap that highlights everything. And Ashley did show you how to access all of the resources. So if you're having any challenges whatsoever, you can chat live. And you can also check out these replays on YouTube already on the Shopping Annuity YouTube channel. And then other than that, I really hope that everybody will continue to work on the app and also get their people and their teams and their centers of influence to do the same, because it is very powerful and it is something that we should all be taking advantage of. When the company gives us resources like this that make running our business better, easier, more organized, more profitable, it's something that we absolutely should be taking advantage of, and we absolutely should be screaming from the rooftops about to our team. So have a great rest of your week, and please be on the lookout for the recap